You're watching ABC 7 News at 4, starting with First Alert Weather.
Well, thanks for joining us here at ABC 7 News at 4. We are looking at just a few isolated showers around this afternoon. We're going to go to our mysuncoast.com webpage and show you the radar picture there. We can actually zoom in and you can do whatever you want. Interactive radar, as you see right there. We have some showers just southeast of Northport and also near Arcadia. Not much near the coast at all right now. And as we move up the coast, you can see it's pretty quiet in Manatee County right now as a result of a large area of high pressure and some dry air that has slipped in. Our rain chances through this evening at 30% right now. You can see the motion basically off toward the southwest on a northeast wind. Temperatures very warm at this hour, and right now the southeast United States is showing some scattered showers around most of the southeast as a result of just the daytime heating. Highs today warmed into the low 90s, I should say, with our lows this morning in the low to mid 70s. So expect a few scattered showers down into near Northport, also into Rotunda and Placida, but elsewhere things will stay quiet here over the next, looks like a couple of hours at least before that eventually makes it all the way over to the west coast. But not much activity going on along the Sun Coast, and it looks like it'll stay pretty quiet as well on Tuesday. We'll have the complete forecast on Tuesday coming up in a few minutes. Jacqueline Scott.
All right, Bob, thank you. Some breaking news just moments ago into our newsroom. Sarasota County has closed Venice-Myakka River Park because of flooding.
ABC 7's Rebecca Fernandez joins us live now from with the very latest. Rebecca, what can you tell us?
Jacqueline Scott, well, after almost a week of this area being under a code red warning, those predictions unfortunately came true. Homeowners are now being advised of exactly what is happening inside the park. The gates of the park are now closed because of flooding, and we're not allowed inside the park to get you a closer look, but here are some of the images we were given of the flooding right now. Sarasota County is telling us that the waters are over 7 feet in the rear area of the park, and that some areas are beginning to overflow into areas that are usually dry. As of right now, there is no immediate threat to the 2,000 homeowners around the park, but the county is asking to be prepared with an emergency evacuation plan. We'll have more details tonight at 5:30. Live in Venice, Rebecca Fernandez, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Rebecca, thank you. We are also following some breaking news involving one of the top administrators with the Manatee County School District. The Deputy Superintendent of Business Services and Operations, Ron Serrana, has been placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of an internal investigation. The school district will not say what prompted that investigation. Serrana joined the Manatee County School District in September of 2016. He oversees more than a dozen departments with the district, including human resources, finance, budget, and payroll. Well, school begins a week from today, and local school districts will have increased security on all campuses. Manatee County school officials say guardians are in training right now and will be ready the second week of school. Once the guardians complete training, there will be at least one guardian or school resource officer at each of the 50 campuses in Manatee County. Law enforcement and student resource officers will be on campuses until those guardians pass their precision firearms qualifications. And the Sarasota County School District has hired 25 officers and 3 sergeants as part of its new police force. All 21 elementary schools will have a new officer on the first day of school. But because the police department is still hiring officers, the school resource officers and school resource deputies already in middle and high schools will remain there for now. School Police Chief Paul Grohowski says this time next year, the school police department should be fully staffed with at least one officer in every school. Well, it's your chance to get a closer look at the candidates for the Sarasota County School Board. All 8 of them who are running for 3 seats on the school board will attend a forum at the Selby Library starting at 5 o'clock this afternoon. Candidates will take part in an informal meet and greet, followed by a forum where they'll answer identical written questions, and then they'll take questions from the audience. Jacqueline joins us now with the latest on the search for a missing college student in Iowa.
Scott, the reward money for that missing college student continues to rise. At $260,000, investigators and the family hope they will find Molly Tibbetts sometime soon. Investigators are searching for any clues into her disappearance. Sheriff's deputies recently responded to a report of a dead woman more than 100 miles from where Molly Tibbetts was last seen. But they have since ruled out the possibility that it is her. She was last seen on July 18th jogging in Brooklyn, Iowa. Now to a shocking discovery that police made while they were searching for a missing 3-year-old boy in New Mexico. Officers found a rural compound where 11 children ages 1 to 15 lived in filth in a tent tucked deep in the desert. The FBI and local agents were initially drawn to the property during their hunt for a man wanted in Georgia for allegedly abducting his 3-year-old son. 2 men at the compound have been arrested. One of them was connected to the disappearance of his 3-year-old son. But it was the living conditions inside the compound that deputies say shocked them the most.
It was disheartening to see that in this day and age that people could live that way. No running water, no electricity. They were in bad shape.
Well, the missing 3-year-old is still nowhere to be found. All of those children staying in the compound were taken into emergency protective custody.
77, helicopter 1. Plane reported down at Sunflower and Bristol.
Well, that was the dramatic scene after a small plane crashed into a shopping center parking lot in Santa Ana, California yesterday. All 5 people on that plane died, but somehow no one on the ground was injured. The pilot declared an emergency and was given permission to land at Orange County's John Wayne Airport just moments before that crash. NTSB is now investigating. European leaders say they deeply regret the renewal of U.S. sanctions on Iran. The U.S. ready to reimpose the first round of them today. The Obama administration and key allies offered Iran a reduction in sanctions in return for Iran's agreement to curtail its nuclear program. While President Trump has been a vocal critic of that plan, his administration established a schedule to reimpose sanctions in stages. The first round affects Iran's automobile industry, certain metals, and other sectors. Well, still ahead, nearly 20,000 people in Indonesia now homeless after an earthquake rocks parts of the country. Plus, MoviePass subscribers are now limited to how many movies they can see each month. And crews have picked up nearly 11 tons of washed up fish on Suncoast beaches since Friday. We'll check in with ABC 7's Erica Jackson with more on which area beaches continue to see the effects of red tide.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system could make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now, SoClean.com has released the world's first automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs and bacteria. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer, risk-free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
The SoClean works, and it's a really effective product, and I couldn't believe how easy it was to use.
SoClean works on all popular CPAP machines and masks, destroying CPAP germs and bacteria without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and walk away. Voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited-time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398. Or visit SoClean.com today.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
According to Golf Digest, 2 of the nation's top golf resorts are on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, the Albert Opelika Marriott at Grand National, and the Renaissance Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa in Birmingham. Plus, the Marriott at Grand National was recognized as Hotel of the Year by Marriott International. Experience luxury and world-class golf Southern style. Visit RTJ Golf/resorts or call 800-949-4444 to book your trip to the trail.
Another pair of satisfied emotions. Looks to me like elation and maybe some amazement. It's part of the Honda Summer Spectacular event experience. You could say satisfaction comes standard here, just like the Honda Accord comes standard with a luxurious, roomy interior. All at the Honda Summer Spectacular event.
We see it all the time.
Visit your local Honda dealer and test drive the Honda Accord, 2018's North American Car of the Year.
The red tide bloom plaguing many of our area beaches has now reached parts of Manatee County. Cleanup crews are trying to keep up as more fish wash ashore. ABC 7's Erica Jackson joins us live to show us one of the hardest hit areas on Anna Maria Island. Erica?
Scott, good evening. There is an extremely foul odor out here. I'm right by the Coquina Beach boat ramp, and when the wind picks up like it's doing right now, you can practically taste it. Now let's take a closer look at what we're seeing. There's dead fish that are floating around the boat dock. Mote Marine Laboratories Beach Conditions Report says there's heavy amounts of dead fish on Coquina Beach and Manatee Beach, which is just a bit further north. Crews were out here this afternoon scooping up the fish that were pushed onto land. Now, the good news is that conditions are improving at some area beaches. We will tell you and show you where coming up tonight on ABC 7 News at 6. Reporting live at Coquina Beach, Erica Jackson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Erica, thank you. For people living on Holmes Beach, the city is working with Manatee County to ensure the beaches are cleaned. There are plans in place to monitor the effects of the red tide, and the city will clean the affected areas as needed. Dumpsters will be placed at several streets, starting with 30th Street. These dumpsters will be for red tide waste only and will be emptied on a regular basis to keep the smell to a minimum. And city officials also say to avoid putting dead fish in garbage cans because they won't be emptied as often. And of course, ABC 7 is covering the red tide bloom from every angle. You can log on to our website, mysuncoast.com, to see all of our red tide coverage, including answers to some of your most frequently asked questions. Let's send it back to the newsroom now, where Jacqueline is taking a look at what's trending.
Scott, dramatic body cam video shows a police officer in Atlanta making a heroic rescue. Take a look at this video of a vehicle that caught fire after striking a metal utility pole early Sunday morning. Eyewitnesses tried to rescue the people inside that car, but the front passenger was still stuck inside. Officers then attempted to pry the door open while using an extinguisher on the fire. The front passenger was eventually rescued. 3 people were transported to a hospital, and 1 officer had minor injuries. Well, this harrowing video was captured moments after a freight train derailed in Pittsburgh. On Sunday, 7 rail cars crashed into the light rail tracks near the Port Authority of Allegheny County. Authorities say the cars were carrying boxes of common household products. Now, it's not clear yet what caused that derailment. Cleanup is expected to take several days, but luckily no injuries were reported. Well, a busy London street became quite a scene of horror on Saturday when people spotted a boa constrictor in the middle of the street eating a pigeon. But the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals said the snake was the one that was in danger. The group says it could have been hit by a car. Officials are unsure how that boa constrictor ended up in the street. One theory is that it is an escaped pet. Well, we're all trying to beat the heat this summer, and that's especially true for this woodland creature who decided to take a dip in a pool. Take a look. Police were called to a home in New Jersey after the owners found an uninvited guest in their pool swimming for literally dear life. The Township of Hamilton Police Department shared their amusing animal encounter on Facebook. The cops removed the animal and safely returned it back into the wild. Well, let's send it back to Scott in the studio for a look at today's consumer news.
Jacqueline, with Apple starting this week on Wall Street, it's the first and only company worth $1 trillion. Some investors are looking now for the companies that could be next. Amazon could be in the running. It's worth just about $890 billion. 2 other tech companies could also arrive soon. Google parent Alphabet and Microsoft are both worth well in excess of $800 billion. MoviePass is putting more limitations on its customers. The movie subscription service will now only allow users to see 3 movies a month in theaters. That's a significant change from 1 a day. But the company says 85% of its customers were only seeing 3 movies or less per month. The monthly subscription price will remain just under $10. The change will go into effect August 15th. One of the most prominent women to lead a Fortune 500 company is leaving her position. Indra Nooyi announcing today she'll step down as CEO of PepsiCo. The 62-year-old led Pepsi to become one of the most successful food and beverage companies in the world. Sales grew 80% during her 12-year tenure. If you're looking for a job and you love chocolate, the Ferrero company, which makes Nutella and other sweets, is looking for taste testers. The company needs 60 part-time sensory judges to try its products. There's no experience required, and yes, you will be paid. The only catch, you have to relocate to Ferrero's headquarters in Italy. But even that sounds like a job perk. All right, here's Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan back from vacation with a look at our first alert forecast. Bob?
I'll refresh, Scott. Actually stayed here a staycation and went out in the water 4 or 5 times and luckily avoided the red tide before it got really going here across the Suncoast, and it really has. Get a look at the Lakewood Ranch webcam and review. We don't see many storms here as we move through time. You see fair weather cumulus clouds coming in from the east. There's not a lot of convergence set up, but really the dry air is the big story. Extremely dry air in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere, not allowing anything to get going right now. And it looks like it will stay that way through most of the overnight. Now, there are some showers around, obviously, this time of year. It's hard to keep everything quiet, but 1 or 2 lone showers breaking out on the east coast breeze, making it all the way over. And you can see that near Northport now and also in the southeastern portions of Sarasota County. You can see the activity very isolated, not producing a lot of lightning at this point. I wouldn't be surprised to see a few lightning strikes come out of these storms, though. Near Northport, some rain falling there near Toledo Blade, also just south of Englewood. All these pushing off to the east at around 10 to 15 miles an hour. And we'll get close and down to street level. You can see West Price Boulevard right there. And Toledo Blade Boulevard getting some rainfall right now all the way up to near the interstate. It's not all that heavy, as I mentioned. It'll be moving pretty quickly off to the west, so expect a brief delay there if you're outdoors. And then Bowling Green, a big storm set to move in there. Arcadia, you're in the clear for the time being as that system, or at least the east coast breeze, has made it all the way through there. We'll see these showers kind of fire up tonight along the coast, just 1 or 2 lone showers. Notice the wind direction, basically out of the east and north, but it's all over the place here. In Northport, it's out of the northwest. Here, it's out of the west at Wauchula and out of the northwest in Arcadia at this point. Basically out of the east into Bradenton and Sarasota. What we are seeing is a wind shift change again. We know that this summer pattern has been unusual in that we've seen a lot of west to southwest wind, and that's due to the fact that there's been fronts coming down deep into the south, which is a little unusual. It's going to happen again Wednesday. Those winds switch around to a west-southwesterly direction, and what that means is that the harmful impacts of that red tide will be moving onshore a little bit more so than they have been as we've seen in the future. Now, as far as that wind flow goes, we will see it eventually jump to the west-southwest, and it will stick around too right through, it appears, Thursday and Friday. No big changes there as we move through time. So your day planner for Tuesday looks to be similar to what we saw today, with that dry air still in place. Temperatures will still be right around 90 near the beaches, low 90s inland, and a heat index up to about 100 to 103 degrees in the afternoon. No real mention of any significant rainfall. Look at that dry air. It's just right over our area, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. As I mentioned, it'll stick around through Tuesday, so expect a relatively dry day. The storms will not be all that intense due to that dry air. Those storms tap into that dry energy and that dry atmosphere as they start to reach into the upper reaches of the atmosphere. Now, the Tuesday forecast calling for still an east to southeast wind, and then a few scattered showers are anticipated late in the afternoon, but not many. And then a front starts to come down. You can start to see a little bit of that front moving through Arkansas on Wednesday morning, eventually pushing the high pressure ridge down to our south, which will allow us to see that west to southwesterly wind, which favors morning showers along the coast and then inland storms late in the day. We're familiar with that as we've seen that all summer long. Well, here's your 7-day forecast, and a slight chance for showers on Tuesday, a high of 90, and then 91 for a high on Wednesday. 40% chance for rain is mainly inland areas on Wednesday and Thursday. Similar story. We'll have about a 30% chance for a few coastal showers on in through Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Better chance some more moisture comes back into play for the weekend. Be sure to download the ABC7 weather app. Although we haven't had a lot of hurricanes and tropical systems yet to track, you will be able to track those with this weather app, and it's a very good one at that, and it detects lightning as well, as we've talked about in the past, and right now not a lot of lightning around, Scott, so it's not a big issue. But if it were, that app is going to help you out.
Absolutely, it does every day. I use it. Well, Bob, a wildfire in California is endangering one of the nation's most beloved natural areas. Yosemite National Park is closed indefinitely due to the Ferguson wildfire. Park officials cited increased fire activity as the reason for the extended closure. The Ferguson fire started back on July 13th and has since charged more than 140 square miles. The release says all of the roads used to access Yosemite Valley have been impacted by this fire.
And trees in the area that could fall without warning also pose hazardous conditions. As of Sunday evening, the Ferguson fire has burned more than 89,000 acres and is about 40% contained. It had been 35 over the weekend. Because the fire is now burning in one of our natural treasures, fire suppression efforts like dozer lines and aerial attacks require a delicate touch there.
Yeah, they sure do. Well, an operation is underway to evacuate thousands of tourists after a deadly earthquake rocked some of Indonesia's most idyllic islands yesterday. The epicenter of this 6.9 magnitude quake was on the popular island of Lombok, but tremors were also felt in neighboring Bali.
At least 98 people are dead and hundreds of others are injured. Officials say thousands of buildings were damaged during the main quake and by several significant aftershocks.
Yeah, real problem in that region of the globe. Bob, thank you. There's more to come on ABC 7's News at 4. A new hypersonic experimental Wave Rider vehicle has hit the skies. Now the vehicle uses its own flight to glide at very high speeds.
Hey, I'm Stephanie Roberts. Coming up on Suncoast View tomorrow morning at 9, we'll tell you why school physicals need to be on your to-do list for this week, plus tips on how to do New York City with young children in tow. That's all coming up Tuesday morning at 9.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP is the largest locally owned CPAP supply company in the area. Is it time to replace your old equipment? The staff at Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP can show you the most up-to-date CPAP equipment and supplies to meet your sleep apnea needs, including portable travel devices and the SoClean automatic CPAP sanitizer. We serve all of Southwest Florida, giving the highest quality of care with the finest CPAP equipment. Please visit our website, sarasotacpap.com.
Hello, Mom.
Amanda's mom's appointment just got rescheduled for today. Amanda needs Right at Home. Our customized care plan provides as much or as little help as her mom requires, whether it's a ride to the doctor or help around the house.
Oh, of course. Tom, I am really sorry. I've got to go.
Look, call Right at Home. Get the right care right at home.
Judy here, I think hospice was a tremendous source of support for her.
Absolutely. With Jennifer and Kimberly and Liza's constant contact with us, coming in, just knowing that there was someone with knowledge there to back us up, to answer our questions, it made a world of difference.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Chinese researchers say they've successfully tested a hypersonic aircraft. The Wave Rider, as it's called, uses shock waves generated by its own flight with the air to glide at high speeds. Experts say it can carry nuclear warheads and that its speed and unpredictable trajectory make it nearly impossible for anti-missile defense systems to intercept it. In addition to its military use, the hypersonic flight vehicle may also one day see civil use in the future. We're just getting started. Jacqueline's in the newsroom with a look at some of the other stories we're working on tonight.
Scott, crews continue to pick up dead fish on area Suncoast beaches due to the red tide. Coming up tonight at 5, we'll hear from Mote Marine about how badly red tide is also impacting other sea life. And at 6, hundreds of thousands of Floridians have already voted in this month's primary election. We'll hear from one supervisor of elections on the current political climate as people cast their votes. And tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, Alan Cohn is discussing a sand war between Siesta Key and Lido Key. Let's send it back to Bob in the studio for a look at our final forecast.
Thanks, Jacqueline. We are looking at temperatures very hot right now in an east-northeast wind. It's 93. You would expect the heat index well past 100 when you get a temperature like this, but it's not. And that's because of this number. Look at that, at 45%. That's the relative humidity, so it's relatively dry out there. Because of that east and northeast wind, a sea breeze never really getting a chance to develop much. And the dew point temperature is pretty low for this time of year at 69. Now, the radar picture continues to show the east coast breeze, although not very impressive, working its way over toward the west coast. Now, we will see some convergence right along the immediate coastline for a few scattered showers, mainly. An isolated thunderstorm not out of the question, but with that dry air in place, it doesn't appear that we're going to see anything widespread. You can see that sea breeze right there. It's pinned along the coast into northwest Bradenton, also a little bit one right there near St. Petersburg. As we see, there are some showers starting to fire up down to the south, but they're very weak. They're making their way off toward the west at around 10 to 15 miles an hour. Again, this is that sea breeze that we'll see. These showers kind of develop once again once they cross the western portion of I-75. And you can see some rainfall near Warm Mineral Springs, near Northport. Not all that heavy, not that impressive at all. And that's simply because the dry air in place. Northport getting some rainfall, Citizens Parkway, all the way to Toledo Blade Boulevard. Some light to moderate showers there if you have any activities planned there. Looks to be okay. Just wait it out for the next 10 to 15 minutes. Should be through pretty quickly. Sunset tonight, 8:15, and we are looking at west winds at 5 to 10. Looks like not the best weather, though. Isolated showers with that red tide out there and that west wind. It brings those harmful impacts right to the area beaches. Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us on ABC 7 News at 4. We'll be back at the top of the hour with more local news. We hope to see you then.